Hello and welcome to the Think Rugby podcast, Series 1, Episode 15. How are you, Zav?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, just coming down with a bit of a cold, but it is the beginning of December now.
I had it as well. I didn't miss rugby. I played through it. Oh my goodness, it was probably the worst experience of my life. But it was for a good cause in the name of rugby, so remember that.
Yes. So, we're going to kick things straight off, Zav, and go for Guess Who. I can read you mine first if you want, the clues I mean.
Yeah, go for it. You go first again. Why not?
Okay. I think the scores you were saying was 30-28.
30-20. Yeah, I've kind of dropped my game. I've kind of got a bit complacent. I don't know what it is. Kind of reminds me a bit like Ireland just now. I've gotten a bit complacent, and now you're starting to catch up on me, and I'm kind of shitting myself a little bit. So hopefully I can get some dignity back and pull away. But well, I guess we'll find out in 2 minutes' time.
Definitely. So, my guy. Clue number 1. I was born on the 2nd of August 1988, making me 36 years old.
1988. Means you're 36. There's tender age that. Could it be Peter Romani?
Incorrect.
Yes, every week almost. One day.
Clue number 2. I play in the front row.
Oh. Oh, you're 36. I would like to say Cian Healy, but I think he's 37. But I don't know if we'll go that Irish theme here. Let me have a think quickly before we get on. If it's going to be somebody Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be somebody. You know what? Actually, it might be Cian Healy.
Incorrect. Clue number 3. I have made 24 caps for my country, so definitely not Cian Healy.
That's what to say. That's the exact opposite. He just broke the record for Ireland. I think I'll kind of deter away from Ireland now for just now. I think I maybe push my luck there. 24 caps. You're 36 years old. You're a front rower, but that doesn't. But you might be a hooker. Might be a hooker as well. That's what I need to remember. Let's think Southern Hemisphere a little bit. You can't be Creevy because Creevy's about 39. He's just retired. How old's Montoya? He could be close. I think he's a little bit younger. Although he is captain, which would kind of suggest he has a bit more experience about him. Let's go Montoya.
Incorrect. Clue number 4. I have been invited to play for the Barbars and played 3 times.
Barbars have played 3 times. Andy, you're doing me so dirty here. Played for the Barbars 3 times. Bloody hell. 36. The thing about the Barbars is you could literally play for any nation or be from any part of the world and represent the Barbars. So I have came a little bit stuck here. I'm going to narrow it down.
Let us know in the comments if you have gotten it or if you are like Zav and struggling.
I'm going to narrow it down. To play for the Barbars, you need a bit of flair. Is it James Slipper?
Incorrect.
Ah, no way! God, he must be about 36 as well.
Clue number 5. After playing for 3 other teams, I am currently playing for the club where it all began for me in Limerick.
This is awful. Yep, so you must be Irish then. Give me a bit of a hint. Is the person Irish?
Yes, I will give you a help there.
Okay, so I can't deal. You've only played 24 times at 36 years old. Must have been a latecomer. Playing in Limerick. Well, I know for a fact that I'm pretty sure. Well, Dublin.
I'll give you another clue if you want, Zav.
Go for it.
Munster is the team that I'm on about being the club in Limerick.
Thought so. I thought so. Does he play for bloody? Is a hooker? I'm pretty sure it's a hooker. I'm sure of it. But yeah, 36. I'm going to give a fat guess, and I generally can't remember if he plays for Leinster. I don't think he plays for Leinster. I'm going to go. Is it Kelleher?
Incorrect.
Oh my god! Right, go on. Who is it?
Yeah, no. The answer to that was Mr. John Ryan. So, Zav, you get 0 points.
I would have never gotten that. Like, brutally honest, I would never gotten that unless it was proper narrowed down. But that's my bad, actually. You know what? Front row is probably the one position where I've got the least knowledge about. I always struggle with the front row, in particular props. It's probably because I've never played it in my life and I don't take much interest into it. But that's my fault, not yours at all, Andy. Okay, my turn. Number 1, I'm Italian.
Michele Lamaro.
Incorrect. Number 2, I've only made 23 international caps so far, but I've scored 6 tries.
It's not Lewis Liner, no?
No, it isn't. Number 3, I've let you off so light here. At 19 years old, I became the Six Nations youngest try scorer in history, and he scored against France.
Oh, I'm in trouble here.
And it was only 2 seasons ago.
It's not Capuozzo.
Incorrect. You're getting warm now. Number 4, I'm a centre/winger.
Oh, I
You're a 50-50 guess here now.
This is annoying me because a couple of weeks ago I genuinely had a run through some of the Italian boys.
Pretty sure you mentioned his name.
Oh, what's his name again?
Well, the tables have turned.
This is annoying. That name is on the tip of my tongue.
Always is. Always is.
It's not. No.
Give it a go. Go. Either got to make you or break you.
Fucking Negri.
No, it's not Negri. He's a back rower.
Again, it's the name though.
No, number 5. I was the 2024 Six Nations Player of the Championship.
I ken his face. I know his face.
I'll give you another clue. He plays for Benetton.
Yeah, it really narrows it down for me.
I'll give you another clue. It's not Brex.
Yeah, Brex isn't the player I was thinking of.
I feel bad now because
that name is on the tip of my tongue.
Okay, I'll give you your final clue, and I'll only give you half a point if you get from this. The second part of his name is also a musical instrument. So, like, is the second part of his surname is
Merencello.
There we go, Merencello.
Yeah.
Tommaso Merencello. I'll give you half a point. I make the rules here, so I'll give you half a point. I'm once again being generous. Fuck me, that was a terrible showing from both of us, really. You're climbing again. 30 to 28.5. You've got Manicello, of course. Manicello, not so young. He's 22 years old, so still relatively young, very young actually. A rugby player, superstar. Got the 2024 player of the tournament. He's an absolute machine. Like, he's definitely top 5 inside centres in the world, and the fact that he's so young and he plays for Italy, not to knock it like too much, but he's Italian as well, is really, really good to see. Yeah, I love Minicello so much. I love him with all my heart. Okay then, enough about Italian rugby.
I just can't believe I didn't get that. It's fine though. The Italians don't watch this podcast. It's fine.
Honestly, I know the feeling, tip of your tongue stuff, but you know what? I mean, at least it keeps me ahead for another week, so that's all I'm concerned about. Irish rugby.
So, moving on. Last week, there was an article released by the IRFU even, detailing their financials. Zav, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, just a little bit. This is more your kind of forte, but I'll give my little bit of input before all it's worth. The IRFU records a deficit of €18.4 million in the annual accounts. I mean, to put it to pounds, I'd say it's maybe £15 million, British sterling. Give or take, I'm not the best with that. The reason is due to the financial impact of the 2023 Rugby World Cup, which basically means they had no ultimate international, so they never had that 3 or 4 games that we're having just now, to get some revenue in through ticket sales and whatnot in that regard. They're confident of the small surplus in the year ahead, which I assume they mean this year, which has just happened, or maybe the next year, which I think they probably have. They've played some big teams. Ireland, they've played Argentina, they've played
the All Blacks,
and they played Australia. And they've played Fiji as well. I think they're all basically sellouts because most Ireland games are. So they have had 4 games there. I mean, they would have had to pay the international teams to come over, which is one issue in itself, but I think they've definitely made a little bit of profit there. In 2023, the actual income, so before all the taxes, so their gross income was €79 million, which was down from the 2022 income from €92 million. So I'm no mathematician, but I think that's a £12 million difference between the 2 years, with that Rugby World Cup being in 2023. So it is quite a big jump, but still doesn't quite justify the €18.4 million loss. So anything else to add, Andy?
Quite a bit. I would say, although the financials aren't a great look, I have to say, maybe with the exception of France, that financials as a union as a whole are quite envious.
They're very, very wealthy union, just like the French rugby union. They're probably in the world up there. Like, I mean, the pay some of the contract they've got their players on is absolutely incredible. I think it's maybe just an article for a bit of PR, a bit of like circulation around Irish rugby. I mean, I don't think they're too worried, given the fact they've just signed RG Simon and they're taking Jody Barrett in a short-term deal. I mean, they will be paid loads for those players. I mean, people look at that on paper and think that doesn't make any sense. Why would you, if you're in a deficit like that, why would you take in more players of that calibre, especially? But the way I see it is, it's probably more a marketing strategy. Of course, not just make them play better. If they play better, when they finally win the Champions Cup, which they might well do this year.
Sorry, is that after the 4th attempt, because they've lost the last 3 finals?
Well, that's what I mean. They've lost the last 3 finals. They might finally win it and actually get that prize that you get and deserve at the end of it. Is that a big risk? Yes, a big risk taking them over. But I think it is just market-wise, it's huge because you're going to get eyes and bums and seats from all over the world watching Leinster because Snyman from South Africa, a world-class superstar from South Africa, and also a world-class superstar, Jody Barrett, from the All Blacks. I mean, that is very, very, very uncommon to not just have 1 but 2 superstars from overseas of that calibre playing in your league. So I think it's a market strategy. They'll get a lot of viewership in from all over the world, especially in Oceania, if you like, and also South Africa. And yeah, I think they've just got to go for it. I mean, they have been the first losers in the Champions Cup for 3 seasons running. As you say, they won't want to make it a fourth. They'll expect to get to the final and they'll expect to win it.
Well, yeah, but then if I was thinking about this, if I was, say for instance, a Munster fan, one of the biggest rivals, this might be wrong, but looking from the outside in, I'm just like, why is Leinster getting all of the cake and eating all of the cake?
Yeah,
Because
I know, 100%. Like, once again, you've probably got more knowledge about this compared to me, but I know that the international players get a lot of funding from the IRFU in their contracts. What club makes up most of the Irish rugby team is Leinster by a marginal amount. Do you know? Fun fact here: most clubs in the URC or in Ireland, they have maybe 13 to 15 coaches that go about and go to schools and go the extracurricular stuff to encourage rugby. Guess how many Leinster have?
couldn't I tell you?
54.
54.
54. They are absolute, and it's no wonder they've got the best, one of the best teams in Europe and in the world. But also the depth that they've got. Look how well in sync they are. Like the blueprint that they've got all the way through their age grade. They've got boys coming up like Prendergast. I mean, we'll get onto him in just a second. But they've got some superstars coming through. They're all getting bled into the same kind of system, which fits right into the Irish system, which I think they kind of need because, I mean, if you look at some of their team, they're not got the best depth in terms of players in their prime because they've got a lot of aging players. But if they manage to bleed these players through, which I think they're planning to do, they've invested a lot of money into that, which also might contribute towards the financial difficulties of 18.4 million euros in deficit. But is it going to be worth it in the long term? I don't know. It's a massive investment that they're putting there with Leinster, which is, I mean, your reaction there said it all. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Like, again, the school system that they have and getting all the, a lot of participation from all the private schools, that's fair enough. But 54 people to go around for Leinster, and then you see, again, using the Munster example, Graham Rowntree getting sacked like a month ago because the IRFU would not stump up with any money to help him out for getting new props. Like, John Ryan at 36, he's done. He hasn't played since 2021 for Ireland, yet that's the best that Munster get. Yeah, fair enough. Pardon me. I get the whole, yes, we need to build for the future and everything, but it seemed very, very Leinster orientated just to one out of the 4 provinces. And I get Ulster is slightly different, but the other 2 provinces, you're just like, should it not just be a little bit more even?
I totally agree. It's I'm trying to think of a comparison. Like England used to be a lot like Saracens. A lot of money went into the Sarries, and that it's a bit more evenly spread now, especially since France came about. And I mean, Bath are a wealthy club, Bristol Bears are a wealthy club. A lot of that kind of like superstars are spread about, but a lot of them still are in that chunk of like the Saracens team. So as a kind of comparison, especially when Sarries were like flying high and a very, very dominant force. Toulouse, a lot of the French team are playing for Toulouse, not them all, but a good chunk of them. And then the ones that don't are kind of like covered and filled by superstars such as, well, Blair Kinghorn, for example. He's in there. But if you look at that Toulouse team, they're the most dominant team in France. So I see why Leinster do it. They've got the most dominant team, but they push it way, way too much. And Crusaders, as another example, New Zealand, when Crusaders were flying high, seven leagues in a row. Now since Razor left their shit. But that is the difference, the comparison I'm trying to make. But you need to find that balance because you still need to get those players from out with. 1 or 2 players from each club is not enough. You need to get a few players into that mix, into that system. But I think they really try to pump the Irish system into Leinster, and all through the age grade, so they know they've got that influx coming through all the time, so they've got something to depend on, fall back on. I don't think it's right. I think it's really, really bad for like just Irish rugby as a whole. I mean, their starting 10 or like their go-to man at 10 up until this week, he plays for Munster for goodness sake. Surely you would love him to play for Leinster, being the orchestrator for the whole team. So is that a bit of a grey area? Because of course, a bit of a flaw. Because of course, Johnny Sexton was at 10, and I mean, look how successful Ireland were, minus the World Cup. But apart from that, how successful they were with a complete Irish kind of spine.
Well, that's
Leinster spine, sorry, mate. Leinster spine.
Yeah, your Leinster spine. I see that, but equally, like I have Sexton's book. The IRFU totally fucked it up with the fact that he left Leinster to go to Racing, and this kind of segues onto the point you made about different unions. The IRFU will not be different in the fact that yes, they clearly. I'm not saying that it's shite. They have got a very good system with the schools and everything. I just think it is a bit unfair at how they're putting everything to Leinster. I'm not Irish, but you know, if you're not from a Leinster background, you think, this is a bit unfair. There will be a lot of directors and everything earning stupid amounts of money. I mean, we're on about, you know, the unions and everything. Bill Sweeney's getting a 300k bonus this Christmas, and you're looking at the state of the English, some of the clubs in England, like 3 going bust in the last, and again 2-3 years or whatever. So I
think. No, sorry, no, continue.
No, I was just going to say that the IRFU, they are no different, but there will be a lot of directors and CEOs earning stupid amounts of money when, you know, it's the players that get all the bums on the seats, all the eyes on the TV. The amount of times, again, fair enough, it's Leinster, Munster. They play their games at the Aviva. Leinster play all the European games at the Aviva. There might be an angle for helping Ireland play there. Mm-hmm. That's maybe a different story. But the IRFU should be taking a cut from that because, well, I would be surprised if they didn't.
I'll go back to your point about the bonus, the 300k bonus. It's almost as if these directors and CEOs don't actually care about the rugby and more care about lining their pockets. Now that sounds familiar from where from? Boy Dodson is his name, our CEO.
Yeah, he left about a year ago. Yeah.
Anyway, he lined his pockets massively with a whack of a pay rise, like an extra half of his wage on top of what he was on already. Oh, it was crazy, but yeah. So it's quite renowned, and it's a shame that rugby, when rugby becomes a business, it happens. Unfortunately, and I'm not surprised it's happened, but it's getting a bit out of hand now. You want to keep that kind of professionalism where rugby is the main thing. Whereas if you look at, I know you're going to slate me or say have some sort of jibe. If you look at football, how it is all just a business, rugby wasn't like that up until very, very lately, where now it is a business. So it's like, how can they make as much money as possible? Which is what I mean. This is why the teams went bust. Would never have happened, or very, very unlikely that 3 teams would have went bust in the space of 2-3 years, just like back even 10 years ago, because it wasn't the business. It wasn't looking for a business model primarily. It was just rugby. But now, as time went on, it's become more business and less of a rugby kind of model.
Well, yeah, you're right there. And the thing I would just say to finish it on, and I touched upon it with the Leinster-Munster thing, player welfare. I mean, footballers get paid extortionate amounts, so unless you hear stories, a lot of their kneecaps are fucked by the time they retire now because the amount of running they do. In rugby, a lot of players are fucked and are still having to play.
Yeah.
Haskell spoke about it in his book, and that's where I have a bit of a bee in my bonnet with the whole directors and CEOs getting all these like millions. I'm just like, it's players. Yes, fair enough, they've got a job to do and they have to do a good job, but it's the players on the park and it's them who are properly putting their body on the line, unlike footballers.
No, 100%. I mean, who would like to be a rugby player? I mean, everybody likes the idea, but I mean, it's what comes with it. What comes with it? Are you willing to be absolutely aching? Are you willing to, like, Sam Warburton is another great example. He retired at 29, which is very young. He was British and Irish captain. He was Welsh captain. He was one of the best back rowers in the world at the time, and he retired early. And obviously, there was lots of other reasons, but one of the reasons, which he said, was he couldn't even pick up his daughter without being in absolute pain, and that was enough for him to be like, "No, this is enough." Which once again is a shame. Could he got protected a bit more? Maybe. He was on a very good wage. That's what Welsh could actually afford. Yeah, good contracts, but at the same time, at what cost? And yeah, the less they get protected, especially in the after rugby careers, and once they retire from that sport and go into other kind of avenues of employment, how well do they get looked after? How's their pension going to be? Or is it just like, thank you for your service, goodbye? Moving on though. I'll quickly, I mean, we both watched I watched bits and bobs of the Australia game. I watched the Ireland Australia game after I knew the result, and I watched it after because I was out, and then I managed to catch up with it later on. Crowley or Prendergast? That is the $1,000,000 question. Farrell back Prendergast, a lot of eyebrows raised. Crowley's been playing pretty well, but maybe not to the calibre that people think he could be playing at. But back Prendergast did get the win. It wasn't pretty. What do you make of it?
To me, it kind of just sums up the whole team. Good, but a bit out of form and could have been better. I mean, yeah.
That's fine. I don't want to touch on it too much, but I like to sometimes have a lot of spin, but no, I couldn't agree more. A bit flat. I think Pendergrass, he didn't take the ball up to the line very much. I mean, I think it was once again Austin Healy. I mean, I sent shivers down my spine when I mentioned the name. But Austin Healy, he was saying how well Pendergrass was taking the ball to the line, and every single like semi-decent pundit or person on X or whatever was saying how little Pendergrass took up to the line. Probably because of his physicality, because Australia were targeting him. There's a couple of times where they would just completely shoot up and just nail him. Even if it was half a second late, it was still legal. Playing in his mind, give the ball away early so you can reset and recycle again. Especially with those pods off 10, off Pendergast. Crowley came on and he's a completely different player. Crowley's a bit more physical. He gives that attacking threat, so he can also be a carrying option if need be. Whereas Pendergast, because he's still a little bit less muscular and physical,
Bit lightweight.
Yeah, he's not that physical threat, which is why I think they probably struggled quite a lot with Australia, because Australia knew that, which meant they'd probably have to defend Pendergast to a certain degree. They did, in case he did kind of give the W and go, but they didn't have to think, okay, he's going to reach the gain line here. Even like a half tackle's going to put him down, opposed to like a massive big shoulder being nice and close. They knew they could afford to have a little bit of space, the breathing room between Pendergast and themselves and that gap in defence. So that's my reason why I think Australia did so well, so successful against Ireland. Of course, Ireland weren't firing nearly as much as they have been as of late, but it's been a bit of a downward spiral. They have won 3 out of the 4 games, but I mean, they've scraped every single, apart from Fiji, but they've scraped every single one.
They've had the results, but the performances have been nowhere near what either of us have known in recent memory for Ireland to be, especially under Farrell. I think it's almost like a timely exit for him to go away and do a sabbatical for the Lions at the minute.
No, definitely. I think he's probably getting out at the right time. Not that he's getting out completely, but he's getting out at the right time. Maybe a little bit of a reset for that Ireland, a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how they do under a different kind of environment. It'll be similar, but it won't be the same. And as soon as your environment changes, sometimes that changes people for the good or the bad. So we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be for the bad, because I think Farrell gives that standard so high. Without him there, I think it will slightly drop. And I think, well, one team, Scotland, I think will take full advantage of it, because Scotland will be firing. They will want to beat Ireland. Townsend will be looking to beat Ireland. And I think Italy, might even have a chance. The way
I don't know. I don't. Ireland have been poor, but fuck me, Italy have been very unimpressive in this autumn. I'd almost go as far to say that this new coach that they've had, whatever his name is, I can't remember it. Yeah, him. I think they had such a boost from him in this year's Six Nations that they overachieved. I'll be very surprised if they get 2 wins again this next season.
Oh, better than this time, Andy. Nice bottle of whiskey. I think they'll finish at least fourth, if not third.
I don't know.
See how it goes. That's ages away. Forget about it. Yeah, so anyway, I think Ireland are there for the taking. I think the standard will drop ever so slightly. But yeah. Was it the wrong call for Farrell to start playing the grass? Well, yeah, we basically covered that. Yeah, I think it probably was. But hindsight's a great thing. They tried it. They still won. End of the day, that was that. I just went how Ireland go without Farrell as well. Answered all my questions I've got down already. Excellent. Okay then. Anything else you want to mention about Ireland before we move on? I think
no, we've fucking covered enough about them. Fucking dicks.
You get fed up. Okay, moving on. We'll go quickly to finish the episode. A bit shorter episode this week. To finish up, wrap it up, we're going to just quickly, briefly preview and discuss some of the main games that are happening in the European Cup, the return of the European Cup, or the Champions Cup this weekend. So, the stage is yours, man.
So, first up, Friday night, we've got Bath at home against La Rochelle.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's probably... It's like Flair vs Flair, in a way. I mean, La Rochelle's team really, well, they used to anyway, pride themselves off keeping the ball alive and being really quite expansive, but also have that structure there. It's really fun to watch them play, especially a few seasons ago. Bath, I mean, if Russell's in his game, if Russell's at the helm, anything can happen. With Cockney Singer and Will Mew on the wings, they'll be expecting chip kicks over to regather, and yeah, I think that could be a really interesting game. I really don't know how that game will go. Is it in Bath or is it in France? Do you know?
No, it's at home in Bath.
Is it in Bath at the Neck? Ooh, interesting. See if I can get across to that game. You never know. Meant to be going to the Bristol Leinster game actually. That's on the Sunday. But once again, we'll see how that goes. That'll be a cracking game as well. I think Leinster will probably win it, but I think Bath will give a good fight. They've been doing well in the league, but European rugby is completely different gravy compared to the league. But yeah, I'd like to think Bath will win it at home, but La Rochelle are La Rochelle at the end of the day. They are not last year's not this like last season's champions, but the season before. They were champions when they beat Leinster. Of course, beat Leinster. What else? What other games?
Well, that's the only one on the Friday night. There is a few other games, but the ones that caught my eye, predominantly on the Saturday, you've got Munster against Stade Francais.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that game. That's in Limerick. Glasgow against Sale, 8 o'clock Saturday night. Looking forward to that. Well, it's maybe biased because, I root for the Scottish teams, but I'll be very, very surprised if Glasgow lose that game at home against Sale, who forward maybe he's the only player I can name, but other than that, I'm like, yeah.
It'll be very interesting. You've also got Gus Waugh, who plays scrummy for Sale. He's just the Scottish international. I'm so surprised he never got called up this Autumn Nation series. I was so shocked he wasn't called up. Like it said Ali Price, he starts for Sale. He started the weekend. He's so much better, and it's a shame because he went on the summer tour and it's just not been picked again, which I thought was mind-boggling.
So Glasgow against Sale, 8 o'clock. I'm looking forward to it. I've kind of said my piece. Do you want to say yours?
You like to think Glasgow win it, being honest. I mean, Sale, they picked up a little bit of form. They got a win at the weekend. I mean, Gus Waugh scoring assisting a really well worked try from Sale themselves. However, once again, Cup rugby, man. Glasgow are pretty decent at Cup rugby. I mean, they're good in the league as well, but it's almost winner takes all. You don't sell it for draws, or yes, bonus points do come into play at this stage, but Glasgow, I mean, the amount of tries they score, I think Sale will struggle to keep up with it.
Okay. And the other game at 8 o'clock, every single game apart from the Friday night game and the Sunday game, 2 games on at the same time. I'm a bit on the fence about that, but that's a topic for someone else. Racing 92 against Quins in France at 8 o'clock.
Racing haven't been the team the ones where Quins hit or miss.
No Joe Marler now, he's gone.
Of course, what a massive loss he is. That's not sarcasm either. He's club level, he's decent. International level, not so much, but club level, yeah. I'm going to say probably Racing 92. Yeah, Racing 92, I would say, if it's in France, that home advantage.
Especially at 8 o'clock at night. Although Sunday night is their number one ideal time. Saturday night I can't see anything but a Racing 92 victory.
Like I say, they're not much a team to wear, but Quins just, I don't know, they're too hot and cold for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, there are other games on the go, but those are the ones that I thought. Well, they took my eye anyway. Obviously, fans of different clubs would think differently to what I did. Another one that took my eye was Bristol Leinster, but we have done enough about Irish rugby, so I don't want to talk about it.
No, speaking of Bristol, I might be going to that game, man. I mean, Leinster will win. I'm being a realist here. They'll win. And then they'll bottle the final again when the time comes. Yeah, done. Okay, that's all from me this week, Andy. Have you got anything else to add before we wrap it up? Apart from make sure you drop a follow, subscribe.
Yeah, check all our socials in the description. Leave us a comment. Please keep up with the comments. We do appreciate and read them. It gives us fine topics of conversation every week. And yeah.
What I'll say about that is, if you've got any more insight about, any Irish watchers watching this, any more insight about Irish rugby, any links, just fire in the comments below. Because, like Andy said, we will look at them. We'll try and do some more research to give some more quality content. But we're just basing off the articles that we've watched and read and other opinions that we've seen online. So, but yeah, anything is better than nothing, and it's great to have you involved. So, subscribe on YouTube, give us a like, share to a friend who needs to see this. On X at Think Rugby Podcast, and also at Andrew Morrison for his world-class punditry, and also on TikTok at Think Rugby. So that's just me for just now. You know what, Andy? The score's 30 points to 28.5. I'll give you a half point for the Guess Who. You know what, Andy? Go on, say it now. No, go on, say it now. I'm happy. I'm happy to. Shake on the deal here.
Okay, well, if you get to 50 points before me in Guess Who, which at this rate, I thought it would be done by Christmas, but at this rate it'll probably be nearer April, I will video myself I'll get my girlfriend to video it, but I will go and have a swim with only shorts on in the North Sea. And I live in Shetland, and it's the middle of winter right now.
And for my punishment, I will basically do the same, but not in Shetland. I'll just do it slightly further down the road, which will be a little bit warmer, but not that much warmer, especially at the time of year. So I'll be in my nice pink swim shorts, and I will have a nice little dip and swim in the sea live at the Think Rugby podcast. And I'm sure you'll have great delight in watching one of us do that. Hopefully, it'll be Andy. Okay then, guys. Right, thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.
See you.